Sister Jennifer and Roy, yep.
And for my sister Jennifer, the quality of life that she gave my mother the last 10 years, she took her on all these trips to Mexico in that wheelchair on those planes and really gave her a high quality of life. And
Yes.
my mother did the same for my grandmother, which was,
She did.
I don't know, it's a pretty amazing thing, very non-selfish and just beautiful thing. We appreciate you, Jennifer, everything you did.
Yes, yes.
And I want to thank Hector big time also too. Hector did a lot of support financially and just emotionally. Everybody thinks he's a big tough guy, but he's really softy. And he really did a lot of great things for everyone in our family. I want to appreciate that. And also with Louisa, as my sister had passed and my mother had passed, they both had the dignity in the class. They were able to pass away in the home that we were born and raised in. I have to thank Louise profusely for that. She just did a beautiful job. My brother Danny here, who did a lot of the maintenance around the house. He did a ton of things, nonstop, cleaning up, just did a great job. And June really helped with the organization when the house was sold, and she did a great job. I want to thank you, June, for everything you did also too. So here's a little bit I have for my mother, won't be too long here. And my mother was from the World War II generation. It has been touted the greatest generation, and I truly believe that. And as a child, she grew up during the Great Depression, and as a young adult, she went through World War II. They were tough, resilient, and showed a lot of class. Maybe I'm glorifying that time, but I don't think so. I remember as a child watching black and white movies with my mother, which is one of my favorite things. It always reminds me of my mother's era, those black and white movies. I still think the best stuff on TV, even today. So growing up as a young man, I had no father, which was tough, but my mother commanded a lot of respect, as a lot of people in this room know. She never had to scream, she never had to yell at you, she could give you the look. and it was a powerful look of disappointment, which many of us in this room has experienced. She was a sharp dresser, and she had a lot of class. And you can't buy it, you can't manufacture it, either have it or you go. She had it in the droves. And I can still hear her beautiful voice and her piano when I close my eyes at any time I want. And she sang at my wedding, which was awesome. She did Ave Maria like that. That music today was just another.
That's beautiful.
Spectacular. And the lady that sang at Ave Maria, my mom would have been very proud.
Stacy, it's beautiful.
So that was very special for my wife and I when she sang at our wedding. It was a really big event at that time. She was a great lady with a big presence that affected many lives in so many ways. If I could look back on my life and give 1/10 of what my mother did, I'd have a productive life, and I'm very proud of her. And in closing here, I just have a little bit more to say. I got to spend 6 weeks with my mother, like my brother just mentioned, in the last year of her life. I got thrown in the fire as a PSW. And have you ever seen, there is a PSW in here, I don't know if she's they left already, but they work so hard in what they do, but I had to learn fast. I got annihilated my first week, and it was tough. So I had to learn fast. I have to say it was the most fulfilling, rewarding, and the most satisfaction I ever felt. Another big lesson in ability that we all need every once in a while, and I sure got a big toast to that. It was exhilarating being able to give back a tiny bit of the great lady that brought me into this world. I will always cherish that time I got to spend with her. It was spectacular. And I think in the end, she was able to let go. She could do all she could do for her children and everybody. She was tired and lived a great life. God bless the greatest lady on the planet, my beloved mother. Thank you.
I think the next person we're going to have come up is going to be Roy Carlson. Now, Roy was very good friends with my sister and my brother, Danny, in their early years. He and Sandy used to have food fights in Ridley College when they were supposed to be cleaning up the plates and dishes. Anyway, they go back that far. And at one point in time, a couple of times, Roy lived with me in Ottawa, and has been very close. He even looked after my mother after one of her many 5 different either hip or knee operations. He looked after her for a fair bit of time. So Roy is a brother. So come up, Roy, and have your say.
You know, giving me this microphone is really dangerous. That said, great to see everybody. You know, I realize what a lucky man I am. Theresa, whom I called Tess, was a wonderful friend, mentor, teacher, listener, mother, daughter, sister, and trailblazer. I can think of no other individual who shaped my formative years as much as she did. So how did this unlikely friendship begin? I made the decision to attend a collegiate based on my music teacher's recommendation on the music program led by Theresa. For reasons still unknown to me, she took me under her wing, and there began a friendship of 49 years, actually 50 years this September. To say it was eventful is an understatement at best. In school, Tess was a wonderful teacher who made music part of so many students' lives. Only she could talk football players into joining the choir.
Yeah.
Her acclaimed choirs, rad-rousers, and musicals all became part of the fabric of the collegiate. And what a time we all had. Most of the singers will remember Terry playing the piano, directing the music, and adjusting her wig as best she could. It went something like this. And who can't remember the choir trips throughout the U.S. and Canada, from New York City to Kentucky to Orlando? We had a blast forging friendships and memories to last a lifetime. Imagine Terry organizing the trips, chaperoning 50 plus students, and ensuring we were all safe and tucked in nightly. The latter was always a challenge. I remember one choir trip to Treasure Island, Florida. Danny and I decided we were going to scale a couple of balconies to meet up with the girls who were on a separate floor for good reason. So we did, we did so because Terry sat at her desk all night watching what we do. We did so because, we didn't quite get away with it though, getting caught on return to the room. We got the stick. And that. We didn't do it again. The Pothier family for me was the most exciting family I'd ever observed. It was like a TV show. Made you laugh and cry, poignant in a celebration of family life. I became close friends with Sandy and Danny, and together we had a blast, even when it came to gardening duties. Tess had purchased a sit-down lawnmower, and we would fight to cut the grass, much to the amusement of all, especially Terry. You know, over the many years of our friendship, I have far too many anecdotes to share. A few have stood out. Tess and I driving Sandy to a basketball camp in Oshawa, which was actually in Olivia. We drove all night to get Sandy there, with me in the front seat keeping Tess awake and insisting on short rest periods. Then there was the Tess-mobile. Can't remember the make of the car, but I do remember the passenger door would open on most right-hand turns. David. We were absolutely fearless way back then. Traveling with Terry was also an adventure. Planning the trip, making reservations, packing, and getting to the airport on time were miracles in the making. But travel we did. From her beloved Lunenburg to visits to the West Coast to see David and Hector and Louisa, to trips abroad, I marveled at her capacity to enjoy life to its fullest. Nothing was better than a road trip with Terry. Cars were also a major pastime for all of us. competition was fierce. Rummy 500 was one of our favorite games, and I am here to tell you that I am the household champion in Rummy 500 and cricket. Thankfully, Hector is not here to dispute my statement. To the delight of Terry, Sandy, and I became the comedy team for most families. We both love life and its absurdities, and we're not about making fun of the rest of the family and life in general. We did one skit where I was Heathcliff and Sandy was Gertrude, two seagulls based on Red Skelton's comedy skit of the same name. We took guilty pleasure in what we could say in our comedic roles, and continued to entertain the family for years. We had a hoot. One more anecdote. I'd be remiss not to mention Terry's tracking ability. At any time of the day or night, she could find anyone, anywhere. Long before cell phones, she and Bell Canada managed to chase us down at any establishment, sports event, or any city and country. There was no hiding. Anyways, there are too many memories to share in a short time. In conclusion, I want to celebrate the life of Theresa, Terry, Mrs. P. and Tess, in the spirit of her kindness, generosity, and determination to make the lives of so many young people better for having known her. Thank you so much.
You've had enough.